day 2. We're right at the end of the day. I'm going to give a little synopsis of everything. I'm going to try and make this as brief as possible, although I could talk for a while. So the main one that I want to talk about is sleep. So, and I expected this when I have sugar. Complete insomnia. I mean complete insomnia. If I have sugar like 6 hours before bed, anytime in that window, and I'm screwed. I'm going to eat these, a couple of these before my bed, and maybe a couple more, just to make sure that it happens again. It will happen again. And I will have to lay in bed for like 5 hours before I fall asleep. I'm not going to lay in bed. I'm just going to stay up extra late. I'm going to be extra tired, and I'm going to sleep extra late. But this will happen. It happens every single time that I eat sugar like this. My whole life, sometimes, you know, I'd lay in bed 8 hours all night, and this would happen many times. And I'd wake up and have to go to a final exam, and then I'd have a migraine in the final exam. This happened many times. Oh man, I wish I knew about the meat diet back then. At least I could have got through college at least. But I got through. But yeah, that sucked. Having no sleep, and you get to the final, and then my migraines are visual. So when I would do the final with the migraine, I couldn't actually read because it blocked like half my field of vision. I got through it, and I got good grades on them. 98% on one of them, 100% on a final with a migraine. In my Java course, I remember that very well. I don't even know if anyone else got 100. That was a really hard exam. We had to debug by hand and output the code by drawing it. You know, output the output of the code by drawing it after debugging it. Without a computer, like on paper. Still can't believe I got 100 on that, let alone with a migraine anyway. And no sleep. Yeah, but man, I probably ruined my body stressing out through college. School sucks, man. It's so inhuman. Anyway, I could rant about that. I'm not going to. It's just, let me just say one thing about it. It's so inhuman to stress people out for a semester and then basically make all of that worth nothing if you fail the final. Like, people have bad days. People, you know, like, you can't do that to people. That shouldn't be allowed. We got to get rid of that. Come on, you're just stressing people out for no fucking reason. You know, you could have a really smart person who just doesn't have a good day, and they were studious. They were on time every day. They were at class. They were studying, and they just had a bad day. It never happened to me because I stressed myself the fuck out. But people shouldn't have to stress out like that. That's not right. It doesn't do anything for society to stress people out like that. You're just gonna make people sick. Really, that's all that's going to do. Anyway, symptoms. So so I have eye pain, but I have been using the computer all day. It's just normal eye strain. It's at the end of my day. So, but there's no like sugar needle pain, at least not right now. Now, maybe that'll change when I eat these. I don't know. So maybe I'm not giving it a fair review today. But I had a good day. I was very optimistic the whole day. Had a couple unfortunate things happen right at the end of my day. And those have annoyed me, but I'm still optimistic that those will get fixed in the coming days. And yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on, actually, despite the fact that I'm just, you know, kind of cabin fevering in my room for a while. But I kind of like that. Gonna veg out for a while I finalize my diet. It's either gonna go one way or the other after this experiment. And, yeah, I hope not to have to think about it anymore after doing this experiment. I'll just choose one of the two, and I'll be done. So, that'll be nice. One less thing to think about. So yeah, no eye pain. I had a little leg pain earlier after I ate a whole bag of licorice. And I expected that. But not as much as I think I should have. I did have a little meat today. So that definitely throws the experiment off, but I actually think that's useful because yesterday I had all sugar. Today I had a little meat and I feel better. Tomorrow I'm going to have all sugar, okay? So if I have all sugar and I get worse, then the sugar's worse. Experiment sort of finished. So yeah, like I said, I was talking about this sleep. The meat diet basically, you know, if I'm tired and I'm on the meat diet, I fall asleep in like 5 minutes. Hit the bed, done, out. It's like the best thing ever. I love the meat diet for sleep. If the meat diet is responsible for that, and I can just go on the meat diet and have that, I'll probably end up going back to it just for that. I'm going to try it again, and it's going to give me insomnia tonight again, probably. I'm going to stay up extra late, and I'm going to be extra tired tomorrow, and my schedule is going to move forward in terms of when I wake up again. And then I'm going to eat sugar all day tomorrow, and right at night as well. And if it gives me insomnia again tomorrow night, I know it will tonight, but if it does it again also tomorrow night, I think that's the end of the experiment. Yeah, because even if I feel better otherwise with sugar, if it's the reason I've had lifelong terrible insomnia, which it seems to be, it really seems to be. It's one of the most pronounced effects of the meat diet is that I can just fall asleep whenever I want. That is a superpower, in my opinion. That would have made my life so much easier. Good God. And if that is the case, then yeah, I'm going back in the meat diet, and I'm gonna probably hold the meat diet up as a thing we should be doing for all children, because they don't understand what they're going through, and a lot of them are going to deal with insomnia and depression and anxiety. They don't know why, and it will make their lives so much more difficult. Now, for someone like me, who can get 100% on final exams without studying, because I already knew how to program before I got to college, so I didn't even learn anything there, so it was easy. That's like whatever, I stress out, I have a bad day, I have a migraine, no big deal. But for other kids who are not as smart, their lives are going to be ruined because of sugar. If they have to go through what I went through, and they have my health conditions, and they have migraines during their finals, they're fucked, right? I'm just being real. I'm not trying to make myself seem so smart, but I knew everything before I got to college. I had been programming for several years before I got to college. So it was, it was a cakewalk. I just went to get a degree, and honestly, it was kind of a mistake. But the point is that there are people who need to study, they need to sleep, they can't have the migraine during the final, and if they mess up their final, they have to retake the class, and it takes a year of their life, and it's just, yeah. That's just one final. This is it's very possible that a lot of people are dealing with a lot of psychiatric and sleep issues and depression and anxiety because of their diet. And if you had just had them on the right diet, they could have excelled in ways that they couldn't have. I know people who dropped out of high school and people who dropped out of college. I know both. I saw both. Oddly, the only people who dropped out of... Now I'm just going on a ramble. Yeah, have I talked about all my sugar symptoms? Yeah, I would say I have a little more energy today, but I think that's because my cortisol levels are higher, which is why I can't sleep as well. So I have more energy, and I'm more optimistic, but then I can't sleep. So, double-edged sword, not sure. We'll see tomorrow. And I'll be eating just sugar tomorrow, but anyway. I was about to go on a little ramble. Oh yeah, the only people I saw drop out of high school were really smart kids. Really smart. Now, kind of insane. And again, they could have had just bad diets. They probably did. Some of them were very poor, but they were extremely intelligent. Never saw the dumb kids drop out. They got C's and B's, maybe a D, I don't know. But they didn't drop out, they got through it. This is just what I saw. One of the smartest kids I knew, probably a millionaire or something now, I don't know or dead, no clue. Or a drug dealer or something, I'm not sure. But he was one of the smartest kids I knew. He dropped out of high school. And another guy I knew, also one of the smarter kids I knew, dropped out of high school. And they just probably just realized how fucking useless it was. Yeah, and you know what? Fair play. It was absolutely fucking useless. Complete fucking waste of time, high school. Absolute fucking waste of time. And college as well. I got suckered into it. I wasn't as smart as them. They really saw it for what it was all those years ago. 10 years before I did. 10 years ahead of me. That's amazing. I'm sure they're doing fine. They were very smart, you know. Yeah, that's one of the issues I've had in my life is I went along with everything because I had very demanding parents. And I let them bully me into doing things I knew I shouldn't be doing. Like, you know, small things, but also big things. I shouldn't have gone to college. Now, I knew this, but I went because if I didn't go, then my parents would think, you know, I'm just some lazy whatever. And I am. But, yeah, it's just, the society is so fucked up. It's so fucked up. Like, parents are like, oh, you gotta go to college. You don't go to college, you're gonna die or whatever. and the kid is gonna go to college just to appease the fucking parents, and not be, like, disowned by the parents, basically. And that's just, you're just taking 4 years of your kid's life, you know? Kids shouldn't be pressured to go to college by their parents. That's terrible. Kids should go to college if they want a higher education in a specific field they're interested in. That's why they should go to college. But their parents should be like, should tell them, I just sprayed myself with juice, you may have seen that. Their parents should tell them, like, you know, college isn't actually useful if you're not going to specialize into one field for the rest of your life. So, you know, you might just want to get like an internship somewhere. You know, spend that 4 years building your resume. It's going to be much more useful to you than going to college if you're not like a doctor or an engineer or something. That's my little college rant. And kids know it's bullshit. Kids know it's bullshit. The parents know it's bullshit. Why do we do it? Why are you putting your kid in school? Seriously. No, seriously. It made sense in the 1920s, okay? Now we have the internet on our smartphones everywhere in the world. Even when you don't have an internet connection, you can get on the internet using, you know, your data on your phone plan. Your kid can teach themselves more in 5 months than they will learn in college in 4 years, for free. People might even pay them to teach your kid. I mean, yeah, most parents are doing it wrong. If you want your kid, and don't get me wrong, if your kid is like a little below average, you know, and you probably know if they are, fine, put them in school, you know, what are you going to do? But if your kid comes out like I would have been when I was a kid, and, you know, hacking video games at 7 years old and doing weird, you know, things that the parents don't even understand by like age 8, take that kid out of school. Do not let that kid go to school. Now, they're going to become a social pariah. They're going to be completely inept socially. But who cares? And they'll probably be depressed forever. But they were probably already going to be because they're too smart. Take them out of school. I mean, if they want friends, like, I'm not friends. I'm not saying, like, isolate them. I'm saying give them a choice, you know. Say, you can go to school, you can learn the same shit. Or you can come home and you can study a specific topic you're interested in for the same amount of time you'd be in school. And you get to stay home all day, and you get to eat whatever junk food you want, and you can have the most amazing, magical kid life you can imagine. They're going to choose that, of course. And then this is when you begin the genius training, okay? It's going to take some work from you because they don't have direction and they're just a kid. So you can't just give them the computer and say, hey, go crazy, because they're just going to procrastinate 90% of the time. But that's fine. They only need 10% of that time. They only need 10%. But you're going to need to direct them a little every now and then. You know, I think the most important thing is that they need to be reading, not books. Do not make them read books. They need to be reading things, though, medical studies. They need to be reading scientific articles. They need to be reading news pieces, things that have a lot of difficult words. They're going to pick their vocabulary up through that. And, I mean, look, nothing I learned was from school. Everything I learned happened before I learned it in school, right? This is the case nowadays with the internet. So, you know, some people on this channel think I'm in some way intelligent. I think I have maybe a higher verbal IQ. All of that was the internet. I played RuneScape. A lot of that was from RuneScape. Conversing in RuneScape. See, that's the thing. Like, we put a kid in class, and let's say they're in English class, right? And the teacher's up there on the chalkboard or whatever they have nowadays on the iPad, the teleprompter or whatever. And, you know, they're doing their thing, and the kid's watching, and they're looking at the words, and maybe they're reading a book when they read the books. And this is all stuff they could have done in the 1920s. This is antiquated. What your kid needs to do, okay, is they need to go on RuneScape and they need to converse with people about economics. They need to be buying things, selling things. They need to be figuring out ways to make more money than everyone else. They need to think about efficiency, work, mathematics skills, calculating all of this. They make spreadsheets to track their finances in RuneScape. This is all stuff I did. You know, they you know, and this is video games to them. They'll love it. They'll think this is the playtime, right? So that's their playtime when they're learning economics and math, social communication, and this can depending on how smart your kid is, this can go in many different ways. They could talk to people and pay people, so they're paying people to do certain tasks for them. This is how these games go. Because, you know, let's say you're gonna, like, in RuneScape, you can, like, make bows like archery, right? But you're not gonna whittle you know, you're not gonna do the carving, and you're not gonna do the flax picking. You're just gonna take the bowstrings and string them to the bows. And so you're gonna get someone, you're gonna pay someone to do that, and pay someone to, it's all very logistical, right? I didn't realize this, but this sort of stuff actually does change how your brain works. A lot more than just sitting in class and reading Romeo and Juliet, and you don't even really comprehend 50% of what you're really saying unless you go back and reread it. And it's boring. It's really boring, if we're being honest. Yeah, I don't know. I think you could make a genius if you had a slightly above average kid and took them and put them on the right path with the right information, got them interested in science and math, and really the main thing is you need to instill something in them that brings out their, and every kid has passion. Kids are so passionate. You need to find that passion for one profession, right? So like if they're going to be a programmer, you need to find that. And it has to be a genuine passion. Don't force it, like whatever it is. If it's art, then it's art. You have a savant, artistic kid, you know, like they can make beautiful pictures. Lead them into that. Let them do that constantly. And let them explore that space. It's going to be beautiful what they turn into. I was stunted by school, is what I'm saying. I could have done so much had I been on the right diet and had I not had the stressors of school and the limitations of school that were placed upon me. Because I learned nothing from it. That was 20 years of my life where I was just held back by what they were teaching. And I was just like, yeah, I know this. When I was, you know, when I was in my Java class, I was like, I've been programming Java for 3 freaking years, and I'm in a beginner Java class, but I have to take it to get my freaking degree, right? Like, oh my gosh, you know, so it's like, for, you know, it's just mind-numbing, and it's like, but at the same time, I was fine with it. I was fine in the mediocrity. I was absolutely happy in the mediocrity because I was like, yeah, I'm just going to chill for this semester. You know, I can knock these assignments out in no time at all. Ace the class, no big deal. It was for me, you know, I had other classes I was stressing about, so it was like, okay, it's nice to have. But no, that's wrong. That's the wrong way to do it. You don't want to be stressed at all, first off. But you also don't want to be surrounded by mediocrity if you're above this all. If you already have done this for 3 years, you shouldn't be relearning the beginner intro course. That is just a waste of your fucking life. And at that time, at that point, instead of getting that 100% on that final exam, I should have stood up out of that final exam. I should have walked out of that class, and I should have never returned to that school. That's what I should have done. Because I should have realized at that moment, I am wasting my time here. And I would have saved myself 3 years, a lot of money, and who knows where I would be at this time. Diet's also very important, though. Diet's important, and that's why I'm trying to figure it out. But, yeah, I really believe this. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, average kid, below average kid, yeah, they need to go to school. They need to be really guided in that curriculum. Right? And they need the help in the linguistics and math, and they need basic help in these basic fields, you know. Otherwise, they're going to be illiterate when they're when they're 18 years old, let's say. And that's not good. But for an above average kid nowadays, let them go crazy for the most part. Definitely set them on the right track, give them some guidance, but really just let them go crazy. They will probably end up depressed and completely unable to form normal human connection. But I think that's okay. I think it's worth it. They will become the next stage of humanity. This is what we are evolving into. School is becoming obsolete, and we are going to see more and more people who are just, you know, there's kids who are making NFT projects and becoming millionaires off it by the age of like 7 now, you know, and that doesn't really surprise me. It's just the natural order of things now, and we're going to see more of that. And your kid's not going to be able to do all that kind of cool stuff if they're stuck in classes that are taking their exams and they're stressed out about it and they don't get sleep because their diet shit. No, this is all that's bullshit. All that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. You as a parent have to know this. What matters is their diet, Their diet needs to be healthy, whatever that means for them. And they need to be getting sleep, proper amounts of sleep. If they're not getting proper amounts of sleep, you have an issue. That needs to be fixed before anything else. That's the most important thing. They can't be stressed. They need proper sleep. They need a proper diet. That is the basic stuff. After all that, then you can ignite the passion, and you can make a little genius. And that is my ramble for today. Take care.